Cheers. You are a busy, busy person. So why would you want to have coffee with Steve and Margaux Drake? You want to answer that?
That is a great question.
I always ask why.
Everyone's busy. Well, Steve and I have lived in West Michigan for over 30 years. It's probably coming up on 35 years at this point. And
1992.
Since 1992.
Mm-hmm.
And we raised 3 epic humans and launched them into adulthood. We raised 3 kids here. And this has been our home for the last 30 plus years. And it is such a cool place to live, work, play. And if you do have a family, raise a family.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to share that with you.
I think that's awesome. So what's going to be the format of Coffee with Steve and Margaux? Because you and I just sitting here drinking coffee doesn't seem very informing or entertaining, even though we're really good at it, right?
Well, there are 2 things that we have done well in our marriage, and one is kids.
And the other is taking time for coffee.
And the other is coffee.
All right, fair enough.
Yes. So the whole idea behind Coffee with Steve and Margaux is to feature the cool people, places, and things that make West Michigan an extraordinary place to call home.
What I love is when we start talking to these folks, the stories that I never knew about, because we're going to be talking to business leaders, company owners, just cool hip people from the neighborhood, and hearing their story and their take on why living in West Michigan is kind of fulfilling to them. It's so cool to hear their story and just connect and let other people hear their story too. It's fun.
So why don't you give everybody an idea of the type of people, places, and things that they're going to hear from?
I mean, I kind of just said that, but it's business owners. It's people that run businesses, and we want to hear from them about their life and lifestyle in West Michigan, but then also their business. So they get a chance to promote it, what they're doing. If there's a current promotion going on because of an activity in West Michigan, they'll be able to tell us what's going on, and hopefully a few more eyes and ears will get on what they're trying to put into West Michigan to make it even cooler. So it's fun. And then also we'll just get, regular people like us that enjoy it, and we can find out why, as long as it's, they love the dog parks, they love the, country settings out in Ada and Rockford, they love fly fishing on the Rogue. There's just so many different things that people can connect with. And we want to try to hear from every single one of them.
And I think this is going to be an interesting story. So Steve and I fell in love at U of M in Ann Arbor. And I was on the first plane, train, or automobile out of Michigan and back to California, where I grew up. And California's will always have a part of my heart. And when he was trying to sell me on West Michigan, tell them what you did, because it was brilliant. You knew your audience. You for sure knew.
I don't know if when I started it, I was going to do this, but I was driving from Ann Arbor in the car, and I said, hey, I want you to come see what Grand Rapids is like. And we drove all the way from Ann Arbor. I drove right straight through downtown, and I said, here is the downtown. There's lots of cool neighborhoods around here, and they go out in circles to other suburban areas.
We stopped in East Grand Rapids. I remember
I showed you East Grand Rapids. I showed you parts of Ada and Forest Hills.
Yep.
But then we drove directly to Lake Michigan, and I showed her the sand. Margaux's so she grew up her early years in California with beaches, but then she moved to the east side of the state, Bloomfield Hills.
Detroit.
And then I took her straight to Lake Michigan. She had never seen Lake Michigan before.
I had never seen anything like that. And
so I took her to Grand Haven, and I just said, here's we're 40 minutes away from this.
The quality of the sand, the beach grass, it was it took my breath away. I mean, it still does.
It's a special place.
So, and then, so that blew my mind. And then we came back, and it was actually a 4th of July.
Celebration on the Grand.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Was it Celebration
Back
on the
then,
Grand or
yeah.
4th of July?
It was.
Or is it? Anyway, there was just a huge celebration downtown. The festival was going on, and there was just so much
There's
activity.
fireworks. I know
and the
that.
funny thing is, I think we sat and watched those fireworks very close to where our house does. Right now we live in the North Monroe area on the Grand River, with a beautiful view of the sunset, beautiful view of the city, and I think we were sitting very close to where
you're right, because we just found a park.
Yeah.
Now there was this building at that time was an industrial building.
Yeah, this was
now
not
it's a new.
This was not a multifamily
Condo building.
Yeah. So we have a condo down here in the heart of the city, and we absolutely love it, and we want to share that with people too.
Yep.
But you brought me to Grand Rapids, you showed me around the neighborhood, you brought me to the lakeshore, you showed me that, you brought me back, we had some activity here. The other thing that you did was, when I said that he knew his audience, he brought me to a couple of barns, because I love horses. And so not only do you have the city life and all the amenities of a big city, but you very quickly can get to the country and have space and be able to ride. And so I love that. In fact, we can also now, thanks to a friend of mine, Jenny Cook, we can ride for a brief period of time on the shoreline of Lake Michigan. So I'm sure we'll be covering that she would be an amazing guest on an upcoming episode.
You had no chance, did you?
I had no chance.
I touched all of your pain points, and there was nothing you could do.
Nothing. And he had my heart from before hello. But this is a part that I don't think I ever told you, and I realized. So I grew up in California. It was always on my vision board to get back to California, at least for a second home. And so for a moment in time, a few years ago, we had the opportunity to do that.
Yep.
And it turned out that I was there and he was here.
I was here.
And my family was always over 1,000 miles away from me. And what I realized during that whole experience, and again, why I am so passionate about West Michigan and how great it is it wasn't necessarily California that I was looking for. When we moved to Michigan, when I was a child, moved from California to Michigan, my family broke up, and 2 of my sisters stayed in California.
The older kids stayed because they were
older. I'm the baby of 6. Yes, I'm the baby of 6.
And then the younger school age kids moved with the family.
Correct. Yeah. So then we moved to Detroit. And I think what I was really going for is to be with my family. So, I equated that with California because that's where we were all together. And so it took us this whole exercise to realize that's
being away from family to realize where you wanted to be.
And so this is where we have raised our family. And it is an extraordinary place to do that.
Oh, you don't have to get choked up. It's cool. You're just thinking of family, right? Anyway, so please join us, right? You want to wrap it up, or do you want me to wrap it up?
Well, and I think there are a couple of things that I wanted to share before we do put a bow on this episode, and it is the accessibility of this city, the economics of living here, investing here in real estate, even if it's your home, it's rock solid. It's a solid investment.
Everything about it. So in Michigan, Grand Rapids is growing, and for the most part, especially the east side of the state, is kind of shrinking. The economy in West Michigan is incredible, even with the ups and downs with the nation. It's fantastic.
Well, what happened?
And they're investing in infrastructure and stadiums and concert venues, just all kinds of really great things going on in the area, and young people are moving here, and it's just a wonderful place to be right now.
Well, what happens is the kids come here for school and they either don't leave because they fall in love with it, or they leave and come back.
And they come back.
Or if they grew up here, they might leave and go to school, but then they come back. Yeah. So it just really is. So I am so excited to share what we have learned over the past 3 decades and more. Share it with you so you can maybe discover something that you didn't even know existed here, a resource or a person's story or whatever it is that you may not have heard yet. If you live here, or if you're thinking of moving to the area, you will have such a great treasure trove of things, like a jewel box that you can open and discover West Michigan.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome. And I would love it if you're watching it and you connect with one little nugget, one little comment that the people that we interview or we talk to says, and you're able to just reach out to them and just say, you said this thing, and I just wanted to connect with you on that. That really is like a point-to-point connection that we can kind of facilitate for people.
Oh, like connecting people within the community?
Yeah, because we're selecting people that are cool, but we're going to find out that they're even cooler than they are and more interesting.
There's a whole lot of people here that we haven't even met yet, and their stories. So
yeah,
share those with us.
And I guarantee if you know of a business or a person that you think we should be talking to, because they kind of exemplify the interesting nature and how fun and cool and free Grand Rapids is and West Michigan is, tell us. Send us a message and tell us you should be talking to these folks because they have a really cool thing going on right now.
And we want to talk to you. We want to know what you know, the people that you know, the fun stories that you know, the locations that you know of, the events that are going on. This is a casual conversation. So definitely stay in touch with us. You'll want to subscribe to our channel and then hit the little button so you get alerts so you can see what's new and happening here in West Michigan.
I think that's it. Do we answer the why? That was my big question.
Why coffee with Steve and Margaux?
Why? That's it.
West Michigan is an extraordinary place to call home, and you'll find out all the reasons why when you tune in weekly at 8 a.m. Eastern.
I think that's awesome. Nice bow. You put a bow on it. Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll see you there.
Until next time, plant good seeds.